So, different hormones. TSH is what? Thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, GH is what? Growth hormone. SCTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone. LH, luteinizing hormone. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. So all of them, if you go to your anyone who didn't get the book? Okay. If you go to your requisition, you can get them here. All of them are here. You can see FSH here, for example. Okay, LH, luteinizing hormone. Okay, TSA, thyroid stimulating hormone. And all these hormones, T3 to 4, these are also hormones. Okay, so all of these hormones, they are done by which kind of tube? Serum tube. Okay, or which are called chemistry tubes. Okay, hormones, proteins, enzymes, like alkaline phosphatase, lactate dehydrogenase, LH, LDH, LP, alkaline phosphatase, okay, creatine kinase, okay, like this, all of these are enzymes, everything that ends with SE. Okay, they need what? Chemistry tubes. Okay, enzymes, proteins, hormones, all they need what? Chemistry. All of these are chemistry testing, so they need what? A serum tube. Serum tubes. So hematology, what are hematology tests? Like CBC, okay, like the blood count, complete blood count. H&H, which is hematocrit and hemoglobin. Yes? Hemoglobin A1C, have you heard of this? Hemoglobin A1C. That is, hemoglobin A1C is both chemistry and hematology. It's like combination. But we use it as a hematology test. Okay, we consider it as a hematology test. ESR, which is called erythrocyte sedimentation rate, or sometimes it's called also SED rate. SED rate, like short form. Okay, retic count, which means reticulocyte count. Reticulocyte counts are similar to red blood cells, red blood cell count. Okay, all these are hematology testing, and they need what kind of tube? Lavender. So electrolyte and genetic tests, and stat chemistry, and stat chemistry. It means, okay, it can be a chemistry, any kind of chemistry, but if it is stat, you can select which kind of tube? Green tube. Then any sugar testing will be what? Gray tube. Okay, so that is in summary how, okay, we select our tubes. You have it in the book in the table format. Okay, so once we get this one, now TSH is what? It's a chemistry testing. So which tube do you like? Serum. Okay, so which one is my serum here? SST, yes. Good job. Then it says prenatal profile. What is that prenatal profile? Now I don't know that.
Green one?
Yes, what do you mean by prenatal profile? What is the meaning of prenatal? What do you mean by prenatal?
Baby.
Yes, it means the mom is going what? A follow-up. Okay? Before the baby is what? Born. Yes? So that kind of test is prenatal profile. So what does this include, prenatal profile? Okay, like it includes lots of tests inside. Okay? It can be many things. So the most important prenatal profile includes like hematology testing, like CBC, hemoglobin, H&H, that's hemoglobin and hematocrit, and what? Like blood typing. Okay, all of these are included in that. And another important is, okay, these are the most important ones. So now for these ones, which one do you select? Lavender. For most of them, like CBC and so on, which one do you select? Lavender. So this one is my lavender, yes? That is the additive. But the blood typing, which one do you select for blood type?
Yellow.
Yellow. Because she needs blood typing, yes? Does she need or not? The mom. She needs, because in case RH incompatibility happens, then that's very important. So that means you need this one. Now, let's put it in order. Let's put now in order. Okay, so what will be our order? That's our order, Y, B, S, G, L, G, Y. So how do you put this one in order? Is that correct? Yes. You got it? So, okay. Now next, we have these tests here. Now we have here PSA. Now, my first question is, what does PSA stand for? What is that?
Pumpkin spice. I'm just kidding.
Huh? Public spicy.
No, I'm in the. It's the fall mood, so it's like pumpkin spice.
Okay.
Alcohol, maybe.
So, okay, that's a good. Okay, but that is prostatic specific antigen. That is an antigen or a blood test used as a screening procedure for prostate cancer.
So what is it? Prostatic.
Prostatic specific
Specific.
antigen. So what do you think is PSA? Which triangle test is that? Because it's antigen, yes? A is what? Antigen. So antigen is what? Antigen is a protein, you see? Anything protein
Chemistry.
is chemistry. Okay? So I got one chemistry here. Which one is my chemistry? Okay. Then there is magnesium here. So magnesium is what? Chemistry. Yes? So which tube do I use? The same. Now A1C is what?
Lavender.
Yeah, that is the hemoglobin A1C. What do you do? Lavender, yes. Then I select this one here. Okay. So then, what will be my final? How will be the order? Is that correct? Then I submit. Okay.
So in an actual situation, you draw two of the same tubes, or they can run two tests out of one tube.
Really, if the laboratory goes just in the same lab, then one tube is enough.
To run two different tests.
Yes. Yeah. But let's say if one goes to Rockville, Maryland, one is just here, then you need to like, because sometimes they send some different. Okay, now here it's a routine test. You have glucose, FSH, reticulocyte count. Now, Howard, which tube do you use for glucose?
Right.
Gray, yes. Thumb up. Gray, so which one is my gray? What does it contain? What is the additive? Fluoride, so that will be here. Then I have FSH. So we always said, if it ends with H, that's what?
Chemistry.
It's hormone, yes? So it's chemistry. Okay? So which tube do you use? SST. Reticulocyte count. Hematology. Okay, that will be lavender, yes? EDTA. Then I have this. Because we don't have any coagulation testing, we don't need that. So now these are the tubes. First you select the tubes, and what do you do next? You put them in order. So what will be first? ST should be first. Next, EDTA, last fluoride. Okay, what do I do? Okay. The last one. Now try this one in your book and then tell me all the order. Okay, done? Okay. Who's going to tell me hepatic function?
SST.
SST. Why? Because it's what? It's a chemistry testing, yes? So I need SST. Then we have what? What do we need for electrolytes? Green. Electrolytes always green. I know it's chemistry, but that's exception. Always is what? Green. Whether it's stat or not. Make sure if it is, this is routine test, but it's green. Okay? Which one is green? HEPA. Okay? Then CBC. That's hematology, so it should be what? Lavender. So how do you put in order? Yeah. Serum first, heparin, and EDTA.
For PPT on the bottom,
Yeah.
is that the blood culture? Would that be the?
Not actually, no.
What's that?
This one is like, the other name is like a white tube. Usually it's used for stat purposes, stat chemistry. But
So you would use that for stat
yeah,
chemistry instead of like SST?
yeah, like a stat. Okay. So that is really in short on tubes. Okay.
Hi there. Welcome to this Focus on Phlebotomy challenge, a closer look at caring for a patient in need of a blood collection. I'm going to be here throughout your journey to help walk you through it, but you get to make all the decisions, start to finish. Okay, so imagine you are an experienced phlebotomist about to collect blood samples from your older adult patient.
How are you?
Her name is Ruth Martin, and she has several chronic illnesses. She's in the hospital for kidney failure and now requires monitoring of her kidney function. As you progress through this challenge, apply what you learn in the module. Review the laboratory requisition and again, whenever you need to refer to it. Okay? Are you ready? Let's see how you, as Brianna, approach the patient.
Come in.
Good morning, Miss Martin. It's me, Brianna, from the laboratory. I'm back to take some blood from you.
Oh, Brianna, it's nice to see you. I wish it were for a social call instead.
I know. That would be nice, but I'm afraid we have to get down to business. First things first, let me go clean my hands.
In an inpatient setting, identifying the patient has a few more variations than in an outpatient facility. For example, the phlebotomist might have access to a barcode scanner that provides electronic identification. Here, Brianna doesn't have one. Review the next 3 scenes and decide which one you would use to identify this patient.
I just collected your blood yesterday, so we can skip the usual identifications formalities and just get right to it. Let's just look at your ID band. Yes, indeed. It says you're Ruth Martin, date of birth 10/13/1936. Would you state your full name and date of birth for me?
Ruth Martin, 10/13/1936.
Okay.
See.
Okay.
Since you are here a little later than you were yesterday, I already had a little breakfast. It wasn't much, but, I already ate something this morning.
That's okay, Miss Martin. You didn't eat enough to affect the test results anyway. It'll just be our little secret. I'm so glad you let me know, Miss Martin. We'll postpone these tests till tomorrow morning. I'm sure Dr. Peterson will understand. These things happen. That's perfectly okay, Miss Martin. The tests we did yesterday required fasting. The 3 you do today do not.
Okay. Which one is correct?
See?
Okay.
Does
See?
kidney tests require fasting? Like what's she getting tested for?
Yeah, that's one good question. Because she's tested for, so you need to go and see the requisition here. So she's tested for what? For BUN, creatinine, and CBC. Okay? Imza kami? It's an upload option. Completion logo.
알겠다.
Na inyom tin
스캔.
Okay. Orle, can you give me your, is that correct? Can you spell it?
No, yeah, it's 2 L's and an S at the end. And then, is there an R? I can't see. It's AURELLYS.
Okay, you see, she has she is doing BUN, creatinine. This is usually for what? These are kidney testing, yes, which is called renal function test, RFT. Okay, when you do renal function test, you do BUN. What do you mean by BUN? Blood, urea, nitrogen. That means basically you are testing the urea and the nitrogen level of the blood. If the kidney is failing, what will happen to that? It will raise up, it will increase. Creatinine is also one of them, and CBC. So, does CBC need fasting? No. Now the question is here. Okay.
What is CBC again?
CBC is complete blood count. When you are doing red blood cell, white blood cell, platelet count, hemoglobin, hematocrit, ASR, all these are under CBC. Okay, so she needs to repeat the test, yes? Because it's chemistry and it needs what? Fasting, yes? So which one is the answer?
So the BUN and the creatine require fasting before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the answer.
When we did this last time, wasn't it C?
Creatinine, does it require?
I think it was no.
Okay. Huh?
It says blood, it's not required right there.
Hmm.
On Google, it said it wasn't required. Down there, fasting is not required for this test.
Yeah. So your answer will be?
C.
Okay. You're right.
Teaching you something today.
Huh?
So we're teaching you something today.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have proper identification of the patient and covered whether fasting was necessary or not. Brianna already asked Ms. Martin about allergies to latex, adhesives, antiseptics, and previous unexpected reactions to blood collection procedures. Brianna is about to begin the venipuncture, so let's get back to it.
Let's see which vein we can use to make this as quick and easy for you as possible.
Can you scroll down? Patient has an IV in the right arm.
Yes. So that means you don't draw. If a patient has IV on that side, don't draw. What should you do? You have to go to the other arm. If you are going to draw on that arm, what should you do?
Below.
Huh? No, first you have to contact the nurse who put the IV line, yes? Without her permission, you can't do anything on that IV line. So first contact the nurse, what? To block that for you for 2 minutes. Okay? Then the nurse will agree, she will block it for you for 2 minutes. In that case, you may need to do it. But otherwise, okay, in general, in the other side of the arm or the hand on the other side. Okay.
That's not how you got my blood yesterday. Why are you looking at my hand?
Well, we both agree yesterday didn't go as well as it could have. What we do today should be a little bit more comfortable for you. It's usually easier to locate good veins for blood collection this way. There are many sites for efficient venipuncture. It doesn't have to be the antecubital space every time.
See?
Well, we both agree yesterday didn't go as well as it could have. What we do today should be a little bit more comfortable for you. There are many sites for efficient venipuncture. It doesn't have to be the antecubital space every time.
Okay. Here is A, here is C. Okay, there is support for C.
Now Brianna is ready to perform the venipuncture on Ms. Martin's hand. She has kept her hand in a dependent position, disinfected the skin, and is now inserting the butterfly needle.
And there we have it, a good blood flow. It may take a little longer to fill the collection tubes, Miss Martin, because the needle is smaller so the blood flows a little slower. But I also brought smaller tubes this time.
You've thought of everything, haven't you?
Can you scroll down a little bit?
There any saying warm? Anyone? Any other? Okay.
This is going well. Are you comfortable, Miss Martin?
Oh yes, I like this method better.
Now let's watch as Brianna continues to ensure the patient's safety.
See, the bleeding has stopped. If you notice any later, use the call light to alert the nurse.
Okay, I will do that.
Melody said A. Any
said
other?
B.
Okay, Melody said B. Any other?
I go with her. I ain't see it first.
What was missing?
Huh? Darian said C. The patient has an IV fusion.
That's if she had one.
Okay. All of you agree?
A and C.
It's A.
A. Also, the patient might not be able to sustain enough pressure to stop him. You agree?
Because of C.
C by itself.
Okay.
B.
Melody said B. The type of bandage used is the phlebotomist's personal preference.
Is there more than 3 answers?
Huh?
Are there more than 3 answers?
I
Like, is
think
there
it
a
should be.
fourth answer?
Huh?
Oh, there is.
Yeah, D.
Yeah, D. Yep. I was wondering.
It's not proton. I
This
go
one?
with Delta.
Because she has soft skin, well, easy skin to function.
Good question, sir.
Mhm. What's she doing now? Yeah. She's transferring from Syrian to. Now we have the transferring device here.
Got him?
Yeah.
Jonathan was asking for the person.
Yeah.
It's not here.
He left without getting the. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm?
Miss Martin, can you take a look at these labels that I put on the tubes to make sure that they're correct?
Yes? That's me, all right.
Okay, good. Well, we're done for you today. I will likely see you tomorrow. But I hope you have a comfortable day.
Oh, Brianna, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to our next visit, as long as you use that funny-looking needle again.
Envelope?
And there you go. You've seen a phlebotomist use a winged infusion set to collect a blood specimen from an older adult patient who has multiple chronic illnesses. She applied her knowledge and experience of medical asepsis, patient safety, and therapeutic communication to make this experience as safe and comfortable for the patient as possible. As you increase your knowledge and build your basic skills, you will surely do the same thing. Good luck.
Okay.
Hi there. Welcome to this Focus on Phlebotomy Challenge, a closer look at caring for a patient in need of a blood collection. I'm going to be here throughout your journey to help walk you through it, but you get to make all the decisions, start to finish, okay? So imagine you are an experienced phlebotomist about to collect blood samples from your older adult patient. The patient's name is William Maxwell, and he has several chronic illnesses. The laboratory requisition, which will be available for you to access throughout this challenge, includes Dr. Santiago's laboratory orders. You can review this requisition anytime by clicking on the requisition dashboard icon. As you progress through this challenge, apply what you learn in the module. Okay, are you ready? Let's see how to begin a professional dialogue with this patient.
Good morning, Mr. Maxwell. I'm Lisa Kay. Welcome to our laboratory.
Good morning. Thank you.
I'm going to be collecting some blood from you for the test that Dr. Santiago wants you to have today.
Yeah, okay. Well, there are a few things that I have to tell you first.
Okay.
It seems that when I've had blood collection lately, the phlebotomist runs into difficulties with my veins collapsing almost immediately.
Okay.
It then takes several attempts to fill the blood tubes, which is not fun.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can do about that. First, I'm going to clean my hands and then we'll begin, okay?
Is there a date C A.
Someone said A, one said winged. Who say A? Okay, 1, 2. Who say C? 1. Any other?
How are you?
Who say any other? Okay. Why you said A?
She used it on the lady before. I guess it like draws slower, maybe less chance
No,
of collapsing.
yeah, but from here, look, one, the patient age, she's elderly, yes?
Yeah.
So if there's elderly,
Yeah.
then another, because the vein is collapsing. If it's collapsing vein, the only method you use is syringe. Okay?
Lisa Kay performs hand hygiene using an alcohol-based rub or hand sanitizer. Mr. Maxwell is not her first patient today, and she does not have any visible soiling of her hands that would require washing her hands with soap and water. Using hand sanitizer is an acceptable technique that can be used before and after each patient you contact, and any other time you suspect any non-visible contamination of your hands. The following 3 scenes illustrate Lisa Kay identifying the patient before beginning the procedure. Review all 3 and determine which one is correct.
Are you William Maxwell? And is your date of birth March 30th, 1948? Can you state your full name and date of birth for me?
Yes, it's William Joseph Maxwell, March 30th, 1948. Now, I can save you all that. Okay. I am William Joseph Maxwell, and here's my license with my picture and identification.
That works too.
So what will be the answer? Which one is the correct identification?
B.
B? Here?
B.
Huh?
B.
B? Anyone with B? Anyone with A?
Can you state your full name and date of birth for me?
Yes, it's William Joseph Maxwell, March 30th, 1948. Now, I can save you all that. Okay. I am William Joseph Maxwell, and here's my license with my picture and identification.
Now?
It works. C works. Yeah. C
Why?
Works. But it's B. What? No way. Oh, right.
Wait, can you scroll back up? What does it say?
So they're both right.
Can you scroll back up? Wait, no,
Yeah.
no, just scroll back up. No.
Lisa Kay performs hand hygiene using an alcohol-based rub or hand sanitizer and is correct.
No. So just go to continue.
Could be.
Yeah, okay, just stay with it. No. Go
Huh?
Yeah, just leave it.
What do you have to do?
I just
You
want to
want
read
to read
why.
this one?
No, why?
No,
like-
this one, she doesn't have her
how
laptop,
do I do?
the tablet. She didn't hold the tablet. She didn't have the requisition. She was like bare hands.
Was
That's
she?
what.
She had the clipboard.
Yeah.
She had something in it. Oh no, she was very.
Look.
Oh, okay. All right.
When you ID, you need the requisition. That's what the meaning here.
So what could happen if you don't identify a patient correctly? What are some of the consequences of an error like this? Had Lisa Kay not identified her patient correctly, she could have ended up in a situation like this.
Hi, Lisa Kay. Can we chat for a second?
Sure.
The laboratory technician performed the wrong test on Mr. Maxwell's blood, which is going to delay his diagnosis and treatment. What's worse, this could have led to an inaccurate diagnosis for him.
I don't know. Is he going to have to come back in for another venipuncture?
He is, but we should also talk about Mr. Nelson. He is the other patient mixed up in this who was to have those tests but received Mr. Maxwell's results instead. This is going to complicate his diagnosis and treatment as well.
Oh my goodness, I feel terrible. I should have checked Mr. Maxwell's requisition with his name and birth date that he gave me.
So, delayed or inaccurate diagnoses or treatments, that's not good. But there's more. Either or both patients' health insurance companies could receive bills for laboratory tests one patient did not have and the other did not need. Then, when each insurance company denies the claim and the patients refuse to pay the erroneous charges, and rightfully so, by the way, the facility might be liable for the test. Okay, I think Lisa Kay is about to explain the procedure to her patient. We don't want to miss this part.
So I'm going to be collecting some blood from you today for the laboratory technicians to perform the tests that your doctor requested. I am going to use a needle and syringe, okay? Instead of the tubes that were used yesterday, that will help keep the veins from collapsing during collection.
Okay, I just have to jump back in here real quick. Did you notice the rapport Lisa Kay was developing with her patient? This is so important, even when the encounter is relatively brief. A good way to begin is to identify yourself, as Lisa Kay did, and display your identification badge to lend authenticity to your professional role. It's also crucial to explain the procedure in a way that is specific for that patient, rather than use universal comments like, "You need some blood tests, so that's why I'm doing this." It doesn't have to be detailed information, but just enough to make the patient feel that you are keeping him informed about what you're doing and why. Also, be sure to use terminology the patient can understand. Sorry to interrupt. Back to it.
Now I have a few questions for you.
I know what you might be thinking. More questions? We've identified our patient and explained the procedure. What's left? Hold on though, because the answers to these questions will help Lisa Kay manage any complications she needs to address first, or that could occur during the collection process. Now, some of these questions you will ask of every patient. Others are specific to the tests the laboratory technicians will perform. Lisa Kay has asked about fasting, any limitations on which arm to use, and any complications other than collapsing veins, such as fainting during the procedure. Another consideration is whether the patient has any allergies to any of the supplies and equipment, which depends on the facility. Because of the prevalence of allergies to latex and adhesives, many facilities no longer use latex products and instead use hypoallergenic tapes and adhesives. Some syringes, tourniquets, and gloves still contain latex though, so if the facility still uses these products, it's essential to ask this question. If not, you do not need to ask. Other than collapsing veins, Mr. Maxwell does not have any of these issues.
Let's see what vein we can use to make this as quick and easy for you as possible.
Remember, my veins collapse easily.
Yes, and because of that, I'm not going to use the usual needle and tube holder that draws the blood out so quickly. I'm going to use a needle and syringe, and it'll pull more slowly, and then I'll just transfer the blood into the tubes for the laboratory technicians to perform the tests. It'll take a little more time, but I think it'll be worth it.
Well, that sounds like a good plan. Okay. I figured there must be a better way.
Nabi said 1, and Ingrid said there is no answer.
I say 8.
You say like this.
Sign language.
Is that?
Number 8.
Okay. Which one is second? If you don't get here, which one is second?
B.
Huh?
Cephalic.
No, cephalic. Which one you don't use? Basilic. Basilic you don't use. First choice, median cubital. Second choice, cephalic.
Yeah.
Okay, basilic you don't use.
Where's that?
Hmm?
Where's number C located?
Yeah, go to your book. Let me show you in your book. If you go to the phlebotomy section on page 144, and it's not like, can you see here, basilic vein? So highlight them, okay? Cephalic, basilic, median cubital, median cephalic. Actually, even there is what's called median cephalic, which is better than cephalic. Page 144. Okay, so did you see that? So that is located here on the inside of the arm. So that one we don't use it. Why?
There's an artery.
Yes, because here there are neurovascular bundles that are going with that, so you might injure that one. Okay, so median cubital here, usually cephalic here, median cephalic here. Okay, so median cubital first, median cephalic next, cephalic third. Basilic we don't use. Okay, so median cephalic means the cephalic one that comes here, it will be divided again into median cephalic. That's allowed. If you see here, you can see median cephalic vein is coming in, then it continues to be what? Median cephalic.
So Lisa Kay decides to access Mr. Maxwell's right median cubital vein. She will use the syringe method. So she assembles a 23 gauge safety needle and a 10 milliliter syringe along with her other supplies. Something to note about this technique: it's not without some inherent risks. Let's explore that in the next question.
Hi, Chief. Any texted me back, and he asked me which classes.
What? Blood that's not supposed to clot. Everything.
So does that mean like it clots in the tube?
Yeah, because it doesn't have any additive. Yeah.
Lisa Kay applies the tourniquet about 3 to 4 inches above the location of the venipuncture site. Then she disinfects the skin with alcohol. She uses a circular motion from the inside, where the puncture will be, to the outside to make sure that the center of the site is as clean as it can be. Other patterns can pose the risk of dragging microorganisms over the actual puncture site.
See? B.
Why?
Because your top finger's not in the way.
No.
He's not supposed to pump it that much. Like.
This one, yeah. But why? Why is B?
She's
Because she's using the L shape. Okay.
See?
Do you want to see all of them?
That's ridiculous.
Why?
Bevel down.
Yeah.
And then ankles.
No, I want to bevel down. Oh, yes.
Here, both the angle and the bevel is not correct. The bevel is down, lower angle. Here, okay.
Lisa, I'm a little nervous. The needle looks the same, but I think it's going to hurt more this way.
If we feel a slight pop, then we have to work. Oh my God.
Then we panic. B.
Yeah. Can you imagine if someone told you that when you're getting your blood drawn? Yeah.
So, what do you think?
B. See, he's not wrong, but you should tell that to your patient.
True.
Yeah. It's not wrong.
Ooh.
She just went up and that. She did just like that. Yeah, better.
This is better. All of them.
Can you play them?
Four? That's sign language?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that Lisa Kay has performed the venipuncture, she has to place the blood in the collection tubes before it begins to clot. Let's see which action to take next.
steroid B? Or is it only
So you
A?
should have already been done now.
So,
Is it only 3, Dr. T?
yeah. Yeah, drag, you have to drag, you have to put them in order. So who's the first?
C. And then B.
Huh?
C.
C first,
And then B.
then B. You want that?
Yeah.
I knew
Forget
it
about the
wasn't
patient.
me first.
He can take care of himself.
I just got the.
I knew it.
Okay.
You knew it.
She didn't say anything.
Come on, help us out.
I thought you guys heard me.
Always to invert immediately.
So then, you're just instructing the patient to hold the gauze while you're doing all this?
After you put pressure, then you tell the patient to hold the pressure.
While you're doing all that.
Unless they can't, unless they're old.
Yeah, unless there is.
Okay, Mr. Maxwell, can you take a look at these labels I put on here and see if all the information is correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my name.
I see your bleeding has stopped. I will put this bandage on here and leave it on for 15 minutes, and then you can remove it. If it continues to bleed, just apply some gentle pressure. If it continues from there, just go ahead and call your doctor's office.
Okay, I will. But I usually don't have any problem with bleeding.
That's good to hear. Thank you, Mr. Maxwell, for coming in today. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I want to thank you for using this technique and not collapsing my veins.
Wonderful.
It didn't even hurt.
I'm glad that it worked for you. Thank you.
Really, it was my pleasure.
And there you go. You've now seen a phlebotomist use the syringe method to collect a blood specimen from an older adult patient who has some chronic health conditions. She applies her knowledge and experience with phlebotomy, medical asepsis, patient safety, and therapeutic communication to make this encounter as safe and comfortable for her patient as possible. It was especially gratifying to see how grateful this patient was that the phlebotomist used an alternative technique to accommodate his specific needs and successfully avoided a potential complication. As you increase your knowledge and build your basic skills, you will also give your patients the individualized care that reflects your knowledge, experience, and professionalism. Good luck.
Okay. Okay, let's finish here. Let's do like the next 30 minutes some questions.